Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second podcast already, or the PO-dcast. Together here with Chinty.
Hello, folks.
Hello. How are you doing, man?
A rough week with all the streaming and also a little, weekend activities. But otherwise, I'm pretty good. How about you, Ty?
Yeah, also pretty good. I came back from GamesCom yesterday evening, and my week was mostly Gamescom, which was all new experience for me. So that was amazing overall. We'll talk a little bit later about Gamescom. Yeah. And also, guys, at the end of the video, we'll do some of your comments that you commented on the last podcast. So thanks for that. Keep doing that as well. We love to hear your feedback. And right now, we're just going to go into our first topic, which is the Might&Glory Club.
Yeah, and since Ty has been at GamesCom, I've been mostly streaming. So I've been part of the Might&Glory Club. And so far, my experience with the club has been really positive. It's been a lot of different streamers, new streamers, old streamers, and content creators to the Pagan Online Twitch page, where I mostly hang out. So we had a blast of a time. A lot of dragons has been given out. So the general feel and talk about the club has been really positive, and a good growth for the game.
Yeah. Have you seen it like that as a good growth for the game? How did you experience that it was growing?
Since I've been hanging out a lot on different Twitch channels containing Pagan Online content, I've been seeing an increase, in both viewership and also new content creator coming there. So I see it only as a plus sign there.
Right.
It's been good for the game and the marketing of the game.
No, I agree. I think it's pretty cool. They also came out with the Heroes of the Day. I have the webpage here in front of me. So there's, I think this is a cool initiative, like basically mentioning some community members as Heroes of the Day. So they got a few. We can go through a few of these, see if we know them. I know a few of them, but definitely not all. So the Heroes of Day 1 are apparently TK's playlist.
Yes.
He's streaming the new hero Hector, co-op play, a kitty cam, and some kick-ass art of our favorite not dwarf Estock.
Yeah. TK's a really good fella. I like his stream. I hang out there a lot. Artwork is amazing. I can confirm that. He has also promised me a Maruk picture. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Great. Number 2 on that list was Pocket Wookie. The guy needs no introduction.
Own little lexicon and breaker of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Here it says content machine. There are already 2 helpful and informative gameplay videos from this pagan expert. So I suppose he has a YouTube channel too then. I actually didn't know that.
Neither did I.
There's Alex Roll 1988, which is not super familiar to me. It's Spanish. We got X Zion is French.
Okay.
And another French guy that I do know, Ferlina.
Ferlina I do know. Also.
Yeah. He's playing both Elden and Hector for you guys in French. Yeah, and he did a 24-hour stream. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ferlina's been by my channels as well, so nice chap. Like him.
Yeah, same for me as well. He's dropping in every now and then, so that's cool. And then the second day, we had 4 heroes, apparently. We have Nico. A German player. Okay. I have never heard of Nico, to be honest.
Neither did I.
We got Ben Wolfers, a streamer in Italian.
Actually I know the guy. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We got TM Easy Mode, not to be confused with the actual Easy Mode.
Easy Mode I do know.
Same.
Pretty helpful, informative, talkative, really nice streamer.
Yeah. And Sinful Duck. Come hang in chat for a chill stream featuring Elden. Minus a few hit points on mob spawns. Sinful Duck always has an eye on chat and is happy to answer your questions.
Indeed. Was actually visiting Sinful Duck's channel a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And chill stream, good talks.
Yeah.
Liked.
Yeah. Sinful Duck is also regularly on my stream as well. Just a cool guy. And he also has a YouTube channel which has a ton of Grim Dawn content. So a little bit off topic. But he used to make a lot of Grim Dawn content. It's very good stuff.
Right. I need to check that out, actually.
Yeah. All right, guys, on to the next topic, which is the release. The upcoming release. It is going to be released in, 2 days. I think you will see this tonight, maybe. Otherwise, it's 1 day when this goes live. August 27th.
Yes.
So, you excited?
I'm excited. I am really excited. Pagan Online has been a project that both you and me, Ty, has been, involved in since April, and we're finally going to go out of early access. So, yeah, I am excited about it. And also, I'm going to be playing a lot, even though I'm already playing a lot, but it's going to be more.
Yeah, it's going to be more. Do you think it will be very different, though, after it leaves early access?
At a point, yes, I hope so. But the gameplay overall, it's a good spot that is right now. It's only going to be better. And it's a lot better compared to April.
Yeah. It's improved so much.
Yeah, so much. It's a different game altogether.
Yeah.
I'm not worried for the release at all.
No, I'm not worried for the release either. And what else they did is they released a new trailer. And I thought it might be a nice idea to actually watch that thing. Alright, so here it is, guys. The new trailer for Pagan Online. This was released a couple of days ago in honor of Gamescom and in honor of the release. So let's just watch it together and see what we think. We both haven't seen this trailer yet. Even though I was it is a surprise. Even though I was at Gamescom. So let's see. Also maybe... Yeah, sound should be okay. Let's see.
Peggy 12.
Hey, but I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like the editing. I like the small, flashing text of information. You know, it's a selling point video, without a doubt. Also some funny bits, with Hector flame throwing everywhere.
Yeah. Do you think this was Sabaton in the background? Might have been, right?
Might have been. I'm not going to confirm it because I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
No. Like these guys have been going hard at like the marketing part of this game. But the funny thing is about them is that they actually play the game.
Yeah.
Like even when their marketing event was over, they were still at the Gamescom booth just playing the game because they enjoyed it.
They were?
They were.
Okay.
And I was there too. So they were just basically playing with some random people, doing some co-op, simply because they loved the game.
Nice.
And I thought that was pretty cool to see. It wasn't only marketing; they actually enjoy playing that game.
Yeah. So I was watching the Sabaton stream.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I don't remember who of Sabaton was playing, but the member was playing Damir, and the bear got killed, and we all know that because that's kind of thing, right? So they said, "Oh, look, my bear is sleeping," and then the member started to sing an old children's song. Björnen sover, which basically translates to "the bear is sleeping, the bear is sleeping." Yeah, so that made me laugh as a Swedish.
Yeah, I see.
So yeah, that was kind of funny. Like they got a good sense of humor, and also it's funny to hear that they actually like the game, not just for commercial sake, but they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, they are, and that was good to see. And I think that also showed in the stream. I'm not sure to what extent you can actually fake enjoying a game, especially as like a a band that has not necessarily got any connection with games, right, or to this particular game, because they don't really know the lore or anything either. I mean, they're not Serbian, they're Swedish, right? So that's also quite different in that sense.
I mean, it kind of serves also as a point that if you're a new player, maybe even to the genre, you can just pick Pagan up and start playing and enjoying it. It's kind of, fits the selling point there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, but the latest build was playable for members of the Might&Glory Club. I didn't really get a chance to play myself because I was at Gamescom, which we'll talk about in a bit. But so I only played 1 or 2 hours at the booth. But you got to play many, many hours.
I got a few hours in, absolutely. So should we have a little talk about that?
Yes.
My time in the release version. So first of all, I played Hector most of the time. Hector as a class, or hero rather, was slightly, in my eyes, overpowered, especially with the flamethrower build. And a lot of people caught on that really, really fast.
Yeah.
He instantly destroyed the entire battlefield because we got something called a domino effect, basically. One mob died, and the entire, screen just vanished. As a character, though, he was, he fits the lore. The lore is really funny. So if you're playing Hector, you should really play with sounds because he's funny from time to time.
Right.
And I mean, people who are liking ranged classes would definitely like Hector. I have no doubt in my mind there. He's an excellent addition to the hero pool, though he needs a couple of fixes in my books.
What kind of fixes?
Well, first of all, the flamethrower that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
It has at least what I think is a bug, so you can stack up to 6 of the fire dots.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I did some Kevlar.
Yeah. And that basically destroys, boss enemies.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And the flamethrower, in my point, is like, that's an AoE ability. That's something you want to have to clear AoE content, not, kill bosses. But it didn't matter because it took everything, whether it's, it was a strong enemy, a weak enemy. All you have to do was activate ability and, shoot it. Right. And also, you had a talent called Crispy. Basically emptied your energy pool and granted you extra damage. And then all you have to do was tumble and get all the energy back, and you could do it all again.
I see.
Really, really stupid.
So he's totally overpowered, basically.
He's totally overpowered. And I mean, the drawback with the flamethrower is like you get slowed. Well, all you have to do is put on some oil and get, I think it was a 75% movement speed buff.
Yeah.
So it was a flamethrower on turbo.
Yeah, exactly. I see what you mean.
Elden, as a hero, I didn't really get to play that much, but I had some talk with the community, and so far, he wasn't as strong as Hector, but with a couple of correct gear pieces, he was kind of, okay.
Yeah, he seems more balanced.
He seems more balanced, and also the little plate of Elden, I really like the combination. So Elden is a hybrid range and melee. If you press the right mouse button, you get ranged attacks, and all your abilities change to ranged. And if you press the left mouse button, everything becomes melee and ability change. So that, I think, is cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's a little bit like Lucian does this too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But melee range combination. So, but absolutely, you can see, some inspiration from Lucian. Absolutely. But I feel like when it comes to balancing, Elden is far better off. And, I would be able to put Elden in game right now, and he wouldn't break the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Hector is another, issue at all. It's like he's going to be an absolute power madhouse if he comes out live too, as he is right now.
Yeah, which might not happen, because I spoke to Sasha a little bit, and she says, well, the team is also still working on hot fixes before even the release. So you guys have played a specific build, a super test branch build of the game. And there's a good chance that this is not the actual final build, but that they will do 1 or 2 hotfixes, maybe on like release day itself, but it could also be basically hotfixes to your ST branch. Because I think the last day is today, right? That you can actually play.
Yes.
And so I think they'll gather a lot of data from that, and they will make a few more like balancing fixes before Tuesday, basically.
Yeah. And I hope they really, commit to that and actually, because we have a couple of heroes in game. It's not just Hector that needs some balancing done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope they take in account both the fire dot thing and also general explosions of Hector, or even, Lucan, even my Maruk. Also need a little, balancing. I can admit that without, sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it also depends a little bit on. There's quite a few heroes that are now relatively strong, but we have also got like so much time into the game that we have made these characters pretty overpowered, using legendaries, using the optimal skill trees, because we know exactly what we're doing.
Exactly,
and I think there's a lot of, especially new players. I mean, I saw a lot of new players playing this game. Yeah. And then you see like, these guys have no clue what they're doing, obviously. No, that makes total sense. Like, I have also played a few other new games. Absolutely clueless as to what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's totally fine. So I'm not sure if they are. I agree. I think with the Hector thing. I just watched your video as well. Yeah. That seems very much
slightly.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be. Doesn't have to be Pagan Online balancing issues. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just have to wait and see what they do. But it's going to be mighty interesting to see when we actually get our hands on the patch notes. See what we can, what they've done.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think we're seeing maybe also a few new features, because one of the things that is new that I noticed also while playing in the booth is the loot filter.
The loot filter.
Yeah.
So this is a feature that the community has been really asking for a long time.
For a long time.
Long time. And everyone who's been playing the gauntlet been like, I've done the 5-minute gauntlet, and then I spent 10 minutes sorting through loot.
Yes.
So the new loot filter that is going to come in the release now, it's working. It has a few kind of weird wordings from time to time, but otherwise it's working really well. And I also like the addition that you can pretty much pick and choose from anything. You can pick if you want to take epic, legendary, the standard, but also they added so you can deselect base item or superior and flawless. So if you only want to have the standard versions, or so if you're looking for, let's say, a School of Magic flawless base item, and deselect the superior and standard ones, just getting the flawless, so you get precisely what you want.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool feature for me, because that's going to save me a lot of time when I'm hunting that, School of Magic flawless base item.
Yeah, it's really cool. I tried out a little bit in the booth indeed, and I'm so glad that they added this, because this is going to save you so much time.
Yeah.
I mean, I basically even decided to not even get into the ST branch thing anymore, but just continue grinding on live. And whenever we have the loot filter, I'm just gonna come up with a nice setting for it, and then just like run a bunch of missions. And I think it will make the game so much more enjoyable as well.
Yeah, it's
the end game.
It's probably the biggest quality of life change they added to the release patch, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's like community's been asking this, and devs delivered, and it's working pretty nicely.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's I think it's great that they added something like this, and also once again shows how they basically handle community feedback, which they always do very well.
Yeah.
Some other new features that you think are cool, or that you experienced that you thought, okay, we were not necessarily aware that these were in, but it works pretty well.
Well, one of the quality of life changes that wasn't really obvious was that the changing of difficulties can now be done automatically right in the Pantheon screen. So that's something new. It's a small change, but also it's a nice change.
By clicking on the icon or something?
By clicking on the item, you get a drop box down, so you can choose between normal, hard, or master. So that's nice.
That is nice, yeah.
Yeah. Something though that was maybe not so much quality of life, but also a new change that's going to impact the game a lot is the new passive skill tree.
Yes.
So I had a look on all the heroes' passive skill, and my first thought and my first realization is that this needs some work.
Yeah.
First of all, some of the talents really made no sense. I'm gonna take Maruk because I'm a Maruk expert. So
Yeah.
So the Maruk passive gives the curse a buff because it handles all the traits of that the heroes already have, buffing them to some extent.
Yes.
Same as the active skills, you can put in 3 or no, wait, sorry for that, 2. So you can upgrade it to level 3.
Yeah.
For my Maruk, it gives me, I think, was 12% physical damage reduction. That's fine. I mean, that's working. It's not overpowered. It's not underpowered. It fits. But after that, when you go down to the node and have a look at it, the minor nodes give increase to the curse duration. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't really affect me that much. It's not, entertaining. It's not, really working for the build I'm playing, because I've refreshed the dots all the time, so I never run out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the major node was when the curse expires, I get healed for 2%. It's like, I don't want my curses to expire. I want them to stick on it. And meanwhile, if you take a look at Lucian, he gets, each time he upgrades his trait, it grants another second cooldown. It's like, this is unfair. That's powerful already. It's like, then we come to the major node. That grants you, for each time you cast a fire spell, your lightning spells get 25% more damage. That stacks 3 times. That's a 75% additional multiplier.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And also works with, a lot of builds that Lucian have. Maybe not a pure lightning build or a pure fire build, but, it plays into the whole hybrid state of mind.
Yeah, so you would say that the passive skills are basically not balanced.
The passive skills need work with the balancing, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say that some would actually need a complete rework. That's my, as a player, that's my thought on it.
Yeah, I haven't had any chance to look at the passives really. So I can't really comment on this as of now.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to get some insight on that. And it is also a little bit in the line of how they do certain things. Like these guys are not necessarily afraid to just like put out a feature without doing an extensive amount of testing, apparently even before a release build. And just having like these kind of passive abilities in there without maybe, testing it thoroughly.
Testing or, thinking the whole thing through, like, how would this affect the game? It's like, let's try it out, see what happens.
But I have, I've spoken to them now a little bit, of course.
Yeah.
And that is definitely just how they do it. It is a little bit also in like a Scrum Agile kind of philosophy where you just build something. You're not going to perfect it, but you just release it to the public, see what they think, and then based on the feedback, you make improvements.
Yeah.
Which is a working system. The main issue with it is that, at least in my opinion, is that if you do this, for example, for a release build, and we will have reviewers very soon taking a crack at this game, and then seeing either like completely useless passives or grossly overpowered passives, that might influence how they view this game. And
absolutely.
And that I think is something that might be, that might happen. I don't know.
So it's like, as I said, the system's working, absolutely, but I'm not sure I would want it to be this on the release build, so to say, because like you said, reviewers going to come in and they're going to have a thought about it. And I think it's not that big of a deal, like it's going to be some long negative review because just some skills are underbalanced. I won't say that, but you can feel it as a player.
That's true, but that the skills are not the only thing that are unbalanced.
True.
Because they do this for everything, right?
Yeah.
So they have this philosophy, and it is a completely fine philosophy.
Yeah.
but they just tend to put stuff out there, and then waiting for feedback, and that can backfire.
Yeah.
Udo spoke about this too on the stream, basically saying like, he was mentioning the initial Steam reviews, and that there were quite a few negative Steam reviews.
I remember.
Yeah. And then he says, well, if you look back now at those Steam reviews, they're no longer valid, which is true, but they're still there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they still drag down the score.
Yeah. So that's the backfire part of the philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not effectful when it comes to people like us that still come back and play the game because we noticed, okay, they fixed it. Perfect.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
But as you said, the review is still there. So, and it keeps new people from, if they don't get the freshest information, it might see, this got so many negative reviews, and that might backfire. Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
Let's talk about some bugs.
Some bugs
that you may have found in the latest release build. And to be clear, guys, like it could very well be the case that none of you ever see these bugs, because maybe now the developers are aware of those bugs and they have fixed them at release. But good chance you will also see them at release.
We got a lot of bug reports from the Might&Glory members, absolutely.
Yeah.
So as you said, Ty, probably a lot of them will be fixed. The most notable bug is probably the Sunfire dot stacking.
Right.
Because I could confirm it that it also applies to King Witch Dash. I could stack 6 fire dots on him as well, which basically destroys everything that has a tougher health pool or something like that.
But how does that work exactly? Like, what do you mean with dot stacking? Because dots are maybe supposed to stack, or like what?
Yeah,
what's the problem?
The thing is that on live version, you can only stack up to 2 dots.
Yeah.
I had a friend check it out. And on the release version, you could stack up to 6 dots. Now, if this is intentional or not, I do not know. I cannot confirm it, but it feels a lot like a bug. Because it's too overpowered right now to be, logical.
Yeah, okay. I see
that. And since it applied to both King Witch Dash and Hector's, it means that it's not the character's fault. It's most likely a bug, maybe. As I said, we can't confirm that it is an actual bug, but it's the Sunfire dot that is the exception here.
Right.
Otherwise, my playthrough during the Might&Glory Club week here, it's been fairly unbuggy. A lot of bugs that are in the live version has been fixed. A lot of the stabilities also. The only thing that was kind of major, but hopefully they fix it to the release, was that me and a friend were doing co-op Gauntlet, and we got out of the Gauntlet, and I was going to put stuff in my stash, open up the stash tab, and my stash was wiped. All of the items I put in there was gone, and it was the same for him.
Oh.
So it was something during our co-op game that kind of bugged out and cleared our stashes. All the gear we had in the inventory or equipped, that was fine. It's just the stash was completely emptied. Echo.
And did you get any of it back?
And no, but I mean, it was, it's a trial branch. I didn't really mind it that we got it. I mean, as soon as they fixed it to the live version, if that, doesn't occur there, I'm fine with it. Happy be a little guinea pig there. We're trying out bugs.
Yeah. All right.
Version. So
okay. Sounds pretty good.
So yeah. But as we were talking about, the bugs are getting fixed more and more.
Yeah.
Also, during that co-op session, I had no lag at all. It was as smooth as the solo play, which is I really, really hope that makes it alive and wasn't like that we were so few on the server. Because
that could be the case, of course.
That could be the case, but you had been talking to developers, right, about stability being one of the main things they are focusing on.
Yes.
So I really hope that that's the case, that they actually, have such a stable version now, so the co-op runs as smoothly as it did during this co-op session that I had with a friend.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, folks, co-op when it runs smoothly is a blast. I had so much fun. All the abilities were coming out when I clicked them. No, lag, spawn, death like we can have right now. So yeah, general co-op was a blast, real fun. I was sitting on voice with the friend I was playing with, so we had a blast and we couldn't relax because none of the lagginess could kill us.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. I also played a bit of co-op at the booth. That was also smooth.
Yeah.
And they were also on a separate realm. So yeah. I think if they keep the server small, then then is probably not a problem. Yeah. What do you think about server stability when we launch? Because this is a problem for every game, basically, every online game that launches.
It depends on. I mean, we've been in early access now for 4 or 5 months. They have had a lot of time to work with the stability. So I'm actually going to stay positive on this one and say we're going to have a smooth launch.
Okay, so you don't think the servers will be overloaded?
I hope they won't be overloaded. I'm not going to promise anything, but for the moment, I'm going to be positive. And that comes from a lot of the trial branch.
Yeah, okay. But then imagine the trial branch with, I don't know, a couple of thousand people on it, hopefully, right?
Yeah. Let me stay positive just for a couple more days.
Okay. No, I'm just curious to see because I think we have seen what happened with some of the patches that launched, and then a lot of people logged in. There was a lot of lag, and they usually require a bunch of server restarts. Yeah. So I haven't actually spoken to them about this, but I hope they fire up like a few extra servers and are able to manage the load. And I hope there will be some load, because that means that the game is selling, which is what definitely needs to happen right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have to wait and see. If it's probably going to be some issue, absolutely. But I mean, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it's more of a rule than an exception nowadays that on launches, games have some kind of issue. It doesn't matter if, it's like a 2-minute issue or like a 4 or 5 hour issue. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that World of Warcraft is going to mess this up as well. So
yeah,
maybe those people will come down to Pagan Online.
We can hope so. We can hope so.
You never know.
Yeah, never know. But overall, I mean, the release build, if it tie this, the knot together, it feels good. It's a lot of fun, a lot of quality of life changes, and overall, it's a good experience to be playing Pagan Online now for me.
Yeah,
it's a good game in my opinion. It's only been better for each time I logged in. All of the community feedbacks getting fixed. We got a loot filter, stuff like that. Everything's it's a blast to go into my Steam tab, click on Pagan Online, and just start grinding.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Like, I've had I think a month or so that I definitely basically after patch BFP 2, that I was a little fed up with the game. I had something along the lines of, well, guys, to me this doesn't do it anymore. The grind is just too grindy and not rewarding enough, and also there's no real fun to be had in the end game. And but yesterday evening after I came home, of course I was teased a lot basically with like Pagan Online, but I couldn't really play it. But I played a few hours of it yesterday evening again, and I gotta say, like, after a couple of days of not playing it, it does feel good, and it does even feel to some extent a little fresh to play now a Pagan Online, to have some sort of an idea of where you need to be for those shroud gauges and what you need to do to get those potency points. So overall it was a very satisfying couple of hours of grinding.
Yeah, so as I said, we're coming a long way, and it's also,
Yeah.
the knots are finally, coming together. It's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, on to the next topic then, I
Yeah.
think. Gamescom.
Yeah. So, Ty, how
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was super fun. Like, you have to imagine basically me. I'm not necessarily, definitely now I figured that out at Gamescom. I am not your typical gamer necessarily. And
Okay, what do you mean with that? I'll need to hear this.
so I am not. I am too. Let's say, how do you say that in English? Like, I can't be super excited, for example, for new games, that kind of thing. So if someone comes to me with a proposition like, "Hey, would you want to play the new Cyberpunk, but then stand in line for 2.5 hours?"
So, nope.
Nope. I'm not. I'd rather sit in the sun for 2.5 hours and eat a bratwurst. Right? Yeah,
Okay,
I'll play it, but I'm one of the few, judging by the enormous queues that are there for some games. So, and I just, that was sort of like an eye opener almost to be like, hey, of course there's plenty of people like me that play games, but this Gamescom audience is very different. And I don't mean that in a good or a bad way. It is just something I noted.
It's an effect the games can have on people.
What do you mean?
It's like, it's an effect that Gamescom have on people. Like everyone becomes not fanatical, but I need to try this.
Yeah, but it's just like these guys are completely prepared, right? They have camp chairs. They have like food. They're basically camping in the queue.
Okay.
I'll put up some pictures maybe if I can manage that. But like they're completely prepared for like hours and hours of waiting time.
Yeah.
And I'm just not really interested in any of that. So that was kind of it's kind of interesting. And there was also a lot of cosplay going on.
Yeah. We also had some Pagan cosplay, right?
Yeah, we had 4 Pagan cosplayers too. There were 2 Anyas, there was a Masha, and there was a Valeria, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And they looked very good, like very
dedicated.
Dedicated, and also like close to their actual characters.
Nice.
Like they were well casted, let's say, the girls. So it's just interesting to see. And then everybody wants to have a picture with them. It's just, and also for that, I don't care. Right? I have not a picture of me and Valeria, for example, even though it's my favorite character. Yeah. But it's just not something that I care about.
It's like you see it, you think it's nice, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I took a picture of Anya playing herself in game. That I think is funny.
Yeah.
But I don't need a picture of me and Anya, right?
Yeah. You're not going to frame it up on the wall,
No. and there were people in line to take pictures with the cosplay girls. All kinds of cosplay girls, to be honest. Yeah. And some of the guys too, like the Darksiders, for example, the quartet, right? War and I'm not totally sure what all those guys are called, but that they were there too, for example. And because the stand next to the wargaming stand was I think it was THQ Nordic. Okay. So they had some cosplayers as well. Yeah. It was, and also the size of the whole thing, it's absolutely huge.
Mind-blowing?
Yeah, like mind-blowing. Oh. The first day, I just walked around for hours trying to figure out where anything was at all. Even though there's like maps on the floor and like it's totally fine, but it's kind
of hard for me. It wasn't there to imagine it.
Yeah, like it was. It felt like the size of our airport over here, but then maybe bigger.
Oh,
like that's the amount of like halls there were, and then also like these are extremely high. So they have a huge ceiling. Okay. And they're almost like hangars that you can put a plane in. Okay. Right, that's sort of the size of these things. And then there's like 11 of those halls. Yeah. And they all have a specific purpose. So there's like a business area, which I had access to, which was nice. because you could meet some other people there. You could just like relax because it was not open for the audience, for the general audience. Then there were, I think, 4 or 5 entertainment halls, and those were the big companies showing off their games.
Yeah.
And that was like, and then you had like massive shows. There was live bands. Like you can't imagine. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like you're saying it, but I mean, you have to be there to actually understand it.
I suppose, but still, and I've never been at anything like it. So for me, it was all new and to some extent quite overwhelming. But I had a good time, just like walking around there, taking some pictures, shooting some vlogs.
So you don't regret going there?
No, not at all.
Right.
I don't regret going at all.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about the Wargaming booth, because, how was it?
Yeah, so the Wargaming has multiple games, of course. Mm-hmm. So they have the World of Tanks and the World of Warships, and I don't actually know what else they have. And they have Pagan Online. Yeah. So the World of Warships had like half a frigate, like a ship, as a stage. So that was pretty impressive. There was an actual tank there as well, and
an actual tank.
Yeah, at least the size of a tank. I'm not sure it was an actual tank, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was an actual tank as well. Because there were actual racing cars and stuff in there as well. Like, I don't know how they got all the stuff in, but yeah. And the booth of Pagan Online was pretty huge. Okay. Huge posters everywhere, and there were a lot of people, especially from like Thursday, that wanted to play the game, which was cool. Nice. Because the developers that were next to me, we were just looking at it. Basically, me, Emil, and Uros, we were just looking at it. And Emil was so proud, right? You could see that, and that was just like nice to see.
He was shining almost.
Yeah, he was definitely shining. So he was definitely happy to see that like so many people wanted to try out Pagan Online. Yeah. And once again, with the camp chairs, and just sit in queue for like an hour or something to play, because that's what it was about.
It has to be a dream come true from him.
Yes. Yeah, for Uros too, and
of course, all of the dev team.
For all of the team, and that was really cool to see. And then you also understand that this is so much more for them than just a game, of course.
And I feel like we get that feeling. Even if I wasn't at Gamescom, I get that feeling each day. I go on Discord, official Discord. Like it's a game, but it's also can we call it a love child?
Yeah.
It really is the love child. They care so much about it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, and like these guys are so passionate about it. And if you meet them, then you notice that as well. And I think it shows also in the community, and it shows for sure on Discord. And I think in many ways this shows like their patches, their fixes. They're like 90% is basically community driven changes.
Exactly.
And then 10% is easy mode trying to make an impossible game. So,
on a side note, I need to ask this question before we move on. Did somebody cosplay Emil? Did someone actually do it well?
I don't think so.
I'm slightly disappointed. I
don't think so, yeah. When I was hosting the stream, that's I think the last point that I want to talk about a little bit. Right. When I was hosting the Q&A stream, I did read 2 or 3 times in the comments that we looked very similar. I mean, if you call 2 white bald guys similar, then yes, it's true.
It depends, your line of thought, and also,
your context maybe.
Your context.
Yeah. So, that was sort of the highlight, I think, at least for me, for being there. So that was definitely cool to actually host a Q&A stream with the developer, and the entire setting was also very professional. So we had like a camera guy, a sound girl, there was a producer who was just every now and then like just saying some things, which is actually kind of confusing because you shouldn't reply. but you're still hearing something in your ear.
Yeah.
Sasha was managing the comments a little bit, and I just tried to keep up with chat. And this wasn't really all, let's say, discussed up front too much. So we just sat down basically 30 minutes in advance on the grass outside. Me, Sasha, Emil, and Uros. And we talked about like how are we going to do this stream. Yeah. So I expected, to be honest, to be, just sit there and answer a few questions.
Yeah.
Right. I was not expecting, let's say, to be hosting the stream.
Oh.
Because we didn't talk about that up front. Like we didn't talk about me being just answering some questions left and right, but we definitely also didn't say that you're hosting. Yeah. So that was the suggestion, and I thought, that's cool. But it's also quite difficult, actually. Yeah. I found.
But as a viewer, because I was viewing the entire space.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think it's really cool that the community get a chance to be in that, unofficial event. Credits to the developers for actually, stepping up and actually inviting the community.
Yeah.
Also, like, you did it really well. I mean, I watched it. You answered the question. You were professional, absolutely, and also, you were part of the community. So you kind of tied a knot once again. So I liked it.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I was not necessarily nervous or anything before that, which is usually not a good sign, by the way. No, it's not, because I used to play in bands quite a bit, and then also perform quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And whenever we had a show that we were not nervous for, that was usually a pretty bad show.
Okay.
Right, you should be a little nervous before you go on stage. I was a little nervous, but not as much as I should have been, maybe. Okay. But what I definitely found was that it was just pretty tough to do all these things at once. Yeah. Like try to keep up with chat, look at the camera properly, also ask your questions and listen to what they actually have to say. That is not just like firing off a question and then getting a response and then just going to the next question. Whereas maybe you could ask another question that is actually, actually clarifies the subject a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, and I think sometimes I was able to do that and sometimes I was not. So, but I watched a little bit of it back yesterday. That was basically the first chance I had to watch it back. And I thought, for someone who's never done this, and this was the first time, I think it was pretty okay. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. Like,
yeah. You shouldn't be, feeling bad about it. Let me tell you that.
No, I'm not feeling bad about it.
So, I think it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, and that is the main thing. I think, like, it was just really cool to have the opportunity in the first place, and then also like actually doing it. Even though it was, I found it I thought it was a lot harder than I expected, to be honest.
A lot of multitasking.
Yeah, multitasking, and also like keeping like 2 hours is a long time if you're interviewing someone.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have interviewed people before, but that's for 20 minutes. And then sometimes 20 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, and now...
now it was 2 hours. So, but in the end, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah, guys, and the last topic is some responses that you had on the last podcast, our very first podcast. Let us also know, please, what you think about this one. I think we have made some improvements. I won't tell you which, but you should be able to tell. And let's just read some of these comments, which sometimes have nothing to do with the actual podcast, like the first one. The heart of an action RPG is the co-op. Please fix it, for F's sake.
And I would say that, they're actually fixing it, so...
Yeah, I agree. It seems to be going in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh, what a burn at the end.
Yeah, that was your burn.
That was my burn. I mean, a little sense of humor, that goes a long way, so...
I think so.
I'll take the burn.
Yeah, and Shinty was not aware, by the way, that I put it in. So, there's that. All right. Ink on Tube. I'm so glad that they're providing something different regarding action RPGs on the market. I'm tired of Path of Exile and seeking forever fusings for 6 links. if you play that game, that is definitely a thing.
I think.
I hope they stick to hero specialization and not meta them, as Chinty said. Crafting should be more deterministic, where player can influence certain stats on it and modify it in a way where player can make specific synergies with abilities for heroes. For release, I hope they fix logging in. This is not something that I heard a lot, but apparently a lot of my friends, his friends, have huge problems to get in the game. Also lag during spawning enemies. That I do recognize, yeah. The biggest obstacle this game has is that most players are having bias. This looks like a mobile game.
That
So
last comment.
So he's actually saying like 5 things.
Yeah.
Maybe we can quickly go through this. So that is different. That's a different action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I hope they stick to hero specialization and not meta them, as Chinty said.
Yeah, I mean, so far, they're going like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only hero right now that I'm kind of worried about is the Hector that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I feel like the specialization is something, the philosophy, they're sticking to it. So
yeah, totally agree. I totally agree. I think the heroes are very unique in almost every way. And that's just cool.
Yeah.
Crafting should be more deterministic, where player can influence certain stats on it. Yeah, that's definitely a sort of a pet peeve for me. I think crafting is still too random.
Okay.
But I also said this in the stream. Like, this also has a little bit to do with me being more on the casual side of things, where I don't want to be grinding for crafting materials for hours and hours just to get rerolls, and those rerolls are completely random.
Yeah, but that ties into the whole farming for artifacts stuff, right?
Amongst other things. But I think also rerolls are insanely expensive right now. I mean, I did a reroll the other day, and it cost me 64 epic materials. I was like, that seems way too much.
Oh, well, I'm more into the, the artifact stuff that we were talking during our last podcast.
Yeah.
I can see that. Not so much that it costs them a lot of materials, but as you said, like, I have more playtime than you have at the moment because of, stuff.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, I can see the point.
And then the release, apparently he and his friends have issues logging in.
Yeah, never had it though.
No.
Also lag during spawning enemies, which feels much smoother in the release version than it is on the live version. So
okay, yeah, that is true, because I played the version in the booth.
Yeah,
and I didn't notice that either. And normally I notice this instantly.
Yeah,
it was still there though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've still seen it, but it's less prevalent. It is also, by the way, depends on your hero. Lucian, for whatever reason, has this very extensively. Like, Lucian overall as a character, I think it has to do maybe with the amount of particles or something that is on his character model. He is laggy.
Okay.
Overall, like with picking up stuff that they used to, that was a bug before, right?
Yeah.
He is just laggy, and Valeria, for example, is working way better in that sense.
Because of the less particle, maybe.
Yeah. And then the last comment, which I think is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
I've heard this so often.
Yeah.
It looks like a mobile game.
And I'm not sure how people can reference this as it's an Unreal Engine game. How they can reference that. It might be the cartoonish art style. That's the only thing I can think about.
I think so. Because I asked this guy, like, hey, I'm just wondering, though, what exactly about this game makes it look like a mobile game? And then he says, well, I don't know. So I honestly don't know. Why would someone think like that? Is it because of the cartoony graphics? If so, by that logic, World of Warcraft looks like a mobile game as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting conversation, but
I hear it a lot. Like, also on, for example, he mentioned specifically the promoted content of Scissorman. He's a famous Path of Exile streamer, and so he did a promoted stream. I was watching that as well, and I did see indeed a lot of people mentioning like, "Hey, this looks like a mobile game."
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard the comment until I read it now. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's like never even occurred to me.
No, I get that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say about it.
Yeah. Anyways, next comment. Glad we got that crap over with. Now we can actually enjoy the game, in quotation mark. This is exactly how I feel about my master missions. It wasn't fun anymore, and I feel it just felt like luck. I am 100% with you at Thyworm. I can clearly see this as a bottleneck that can make people stop playing. I like this format of podcast video. Keep it up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we had a lot of discussions with the Master Wall in the last podcast, and it's I really hope in the release version we still have the Master Wall. It becomes a little bit better now because if you finish the campaign, the last campaign mission drops the Legacy 6 stuff, so that can help a little.
Yeah.
But you still feel like that wall is there. It still gets reminded of like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, that wall is there, and that wall is not going to disappear before release.
No. Without a doubt, no.
It might. It definitely might put some people off.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've been talking about it, and we come to a conclusion that both you and me don't really like it, and also the negative impact it has on the game.
Yeah, to be honest, the Emil did say something about it. For example, I think it was Bearded Check who offered a suggestion in the sense of, well, why don't you have difficulty levels, but just don't make it mandatory to clear a master difficulty mission in order to progress.
Yeah.
But for example, if you want to do higher level master missions, first you have to complete the lower level master mission, something like that. And Emil actually liked that idea as well. So I don't think they're completely set on keeping it. On the other hand, he said, well, by that time you reach the master wall, let's say, you have about 30-40 hours in the game, and you should be able to come up with a build that is able to, Yeah, I don't agree with that because
it's not the build; it's the itemization.
Yes, it's the fact that monsters crit for 60k, and it's the fact that you have these crazy, stupid barrels everywhere that just instantly wipe you on expedition missions. More so than because that wipes my E-Stock too.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter which character you play, so
and 20k armor. So yeah.
Anyways, next comment.
Ubershalulf says, "Very nice podcast. Thank you, man."
Right. Also, kudos for pronouncing my name right. Well, we did something right then.
Yeah. And the other one is from the Sentinel too. Love this. It's making it so hard for me to not spoil stuff.
Oh.
In case you didn't know, the Sentinel 909 is actually Matea. He's the lore guy.
The lore guy?
Yeah.
All right.
And he's been commenting on my videos, I think, since the start. So he's an avid viewer, which is good. I think it's nice that developers actually watch content.
The content, yeah. Hi Ty, I have the podcast a few minutes and I like it so far. One thing, the music is a bit too much for me. Maybe a bit more chill music or none at all.
Yeah. So right now it's none at all. I think I'll keep it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you need music. It does distract a little bit from like possible background noises. So maybe I'll find some like chill track that we can run in the background. Right. But yeah, maybe the last time the battle music, it was also battle music, was a little bit on the loud side. I did think about it when editing and I thought it was fine. Mm-hmm. But
we'll take the feedback.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's the end of the podcast, guys. Once again.
Yeah. So an outro?
Yeah.
Right.
Insert outro here. And see you guys next time.